All right, it is Barstool's most dangerous game show presented by Mattress Firm. First episode, after show. I'm Jeff D. Lowe, not the host of this show. That'd be Roan, who did a. This is not going to be like 20, 30 minutes of me just saying how good Roan is, but Roan is unreal at this show. Like nobody better. Brainchild. Like, this is just, he's unreal. Alongside Tommy Smokes. Tommy Smokes still in the game. Vibs, who controlled the game, and Billy Football, who's been eliminated from Barstool's most dangerous game show presented by Mattress Firm. Next episode airs July 26th at 8/7 Central. The one after that will be the 28th, and it's Tuesday, Thursday, the rest of the episodes, the last 4 episodes. Billy, before we get into kind of like more of a show recap, you've been eliminated. Vibs took you out of the game. You are staying there. You're going to have a say in how the game ends, but I want your thoughts right now. If you could go back in time and do it all over again, would you have had a different strategy for this game?
Well, if I could do it again, I would have a strategy. I honestly thought that I could go in there and just have fun, and no one would think that, like, all I wanted to do was just camp, chill out, like just be there a couple nights. I didn't really, I knew winning was going to take like a lot of, mastery and manipulation. I was just hoping that like people would let me have a little bit of fun and then eliminate me. But I got just taken out the first chance. I would have made alliances. I would have, actually played the game. I thought to just like, doing stuff, I really had no strategy. I kind of went in, I was just like, I'm going to go camping. I'm going to compete. I'm not going to take part in all that snakery. But I guess everyone else just had a different idea. I totally thought that we were going to, like Tommy was the obvious person to eliminate. I thought we were all on the same page. But I guess, it's crazy seeing everybody else in their confessionals. It was just totally a different situation than I interpreted.
Yeah, and we'll get to Tommy's thoughts on if he thought he was going home, and then Vibs, I'll get your hindsight like decision. But I made a ton of notes on the show as I sit here and try to delabel my water, not to do any brand safety. My main note off the top was Billy thinks he's in a different show than he actually is on.
Yeah.
You thought you were like Bear Grylls. Like you thought this was a survival show. That's not even a competition. You just thought this was a Bear Grylls show where you're just going to hang out for 5 episodes.
But I will say in Billy's defense, like we didn't know what the show was going into it. Like we thought it might have been an outdoor survival show. Like I remember on the shuttle up there, we were all sitting there. We were like, guys, what is this going to like? We didn't know if people were getting eliminated. We didn't know how people were getting home. We thought all 8 of us might have been just in the woods for the full week. So there, you couldn't really come in with the strategy because we didn't know what the game was. I remember being like, let's just all stick together. And like, if they try to kill us this week, like we just revolt against them.
Billy's opening line was like, I just like finding a salamander under the log. I just want to have fun. And it just, you kind of broke. And Billy, I don't like how much reality TV have you watched, or like Survivor, Amazing Race, like The Challenge? Have you watched any of those?
No, I've watched Man vs. Wild, Survivor Man, all Discovery Channel and History Channel shows. I wasn't allowed to watch like reality
shows where nobody really wins. Like it's just kind of survived, yeah.
Yeah, just like if I just survive, right? Like the most dangerous game is Man, and Man was what took me out, not the wilderness.
Because you chugged so fast off the top. Your first bug drink, you built the fire. You talked about the tools and the weapon. Like you broke every rule basically of what you would want to do on a show. If you're the strong man, you don't really want to show that off right away, even though everyone kind of knew it was you anyway. Though I will note though, a lot of times the strong person does last a while, a little bit on those shows. Because like, all right, let's rely on the guy to win challenges. But in an individual game where it's just you versus everyone else for the most part, and where very clearly, like, and there's more episodes left. You don't know what the challenges are, but like the first 2 challenges were not physical. The building of the camp, it wasn't like you were building it with like logs and like leaves. Like you had tents. Your skill set was just so unneeded very clearly in the first episode that the reason to keep you around, at least from my viewing point, I've only seen 1 episode, Vibs, that had to play a major thought. Like there truly was no reason to keep him around.
Right. No. But can I say this? There's a good scene where Billy and Sass are playing with the weapons in episode 1. And that 1 second of them playing with them is all we had the weapons in the camp for. The safety guy took them away because he was like, I'm not trusting Billy and Sass with these. Like, you guys are not trustworthy at all. So that was pretty funny.
I was like pulling the knife out, and I'm like,
yeah,
they don't need those.
No, we did not need those at all.
I mean, it was one of those things. Like I thought, there was going to be axe throw. Like I thought it was going to be a little more, like the lumberjack games. For some reason, the thing is when you like get in these situations, you know about it for like a month or 2, and you just have all these ideas of what's going to happen.
Yeah,
and it was way different. It was,
Before I left to go to the woods, I was like, I don't know what this is going to be. We're probably going to have to build a fire from scratch. So I was YouTubing like how to make a fire with like the sticks, like to do that. And like we had lighters and stuff.
I didn't really know fully what the game was for a long time until like I had seen like production notes and stuff. And Tommy, maybe it was you, Tommy, or was it Vibs, who made a comment when you first arrived? You're like, maybe Roan is going to hunt us. Because when I hear Dangerous Game, I think of like the movie, or like, is Roan hunting these people? Like,
right.
I read the short story like the night before we left, or a week before we left. I was like, what's going on here? And then when we got to the Mattress Firm mansion, that's very similar to the Most Dangerous Game, where he takes them to his nice house and they all go out in the woods and he hunts them. I didn't know. I had no idea what to expect. The night going into it, or before, I was like, why the fuck did I do this? I was like, this isn't what I do. Like, this is like, I'm going to have to be eating bugs or whatever and making fires. And yeah, I mean, we truly had no idea what to expect, which I think is what separates it from like a Surviving Barstool, where, okay, it's just similar to another reality show, or Barstool versus America. You have an idea, especially this season, it's challenges or whatever. It was like, we had no idea. It was brand new.
Mm-hmm. Billy, what was your favorite bug you saw on that table? I feel like you geeked out a little bit. Those are some thick bugs.
Oh, what they put Madagascar hissing roaches in front of me, and I knew that Madagascar hissing roaches are really good pets. Out of all the insects, they're sort of like the dogs of insects because they're really amicable. If you pet them, they hiss. And I was like, oh man, like I have to eat these. And I was about to because I had just competed in lowering the bar. And we eat bugs, and the only way to choke them down was to mush them up, so you didn't get the texture of a live bug. So when they put them in front of me, I was like, "Oh man, I got to mash up these live hissing roaches." And then I was about to start smashing them up, and then the bug guy was like, "Do not kill the bugs because we're eating other bugs. Those are prop bugs." And I was like, "Oh shit!" I was about to
the bug guy. Randy's
a legend.
He had the face
I didn't know that. Randy the bug guy?
Yeah, Randy the bug guy.
A thick, bushy mustache. And I looked at him and I go, that man's name is either Rick or Randy. And his name was Randy.
No, but
he cared about those bugs like they were his children.
They were his. Yeah.
The challenge where they're spitting the balls in, like the cockroaches would fall out, and like in between rounds, he would rush to make sure nobody stepped on them or anything. We weren't allowed to kill any of the bugs on set, so he was making sure that they were all alive the whole time.
Yeah, I mean, so the first night I dressed, and I kind of tactically dressed in the nicest activewear I could. So I had a blazer, but I had a sport polo on. I had like Nike khakis on, which I could run in, and I also wore my toe shoes because I thought that we would have to run away at some point. If Roan was going to hunt us, I wanted to be ready. It was going to be a total, if I was dressed way too nice, you wouldn't be able to move through the woods. So I thought, I've read the story, and the story actually rang true. Like the wilderness didn't get me. Man got me. Man eliminated me. Not the forest.
Man did get you. I got a note though, just a little behind the scenes stuff. These shows, I don't know how I wasn't there. Can you but I've done Barstool America twice now. There's so much walking and standing around. Like the walking you do with these shows is unreal. You walk for days.
We were there wasn't too much walking because we were in like a set location. It was just a lot of sitting in the woods. You know what I mean?
Which that's not like a complaint. Just one of those funny things, like you don't realize it until you do one of these shows. Like just the standing around and walking. It just becomes like you just get. It's like a trance. You're like, oh my god, we're walking.
The Mattress Firm Mansion was like a 45-minute drive away from the camp.
Really?
Yeah.
Holy shit! I didn't realize
that was that first night we were. Or no, I guess it was the first time we went from the mansion back to the campus. Like, where is so? All right, so yeah, that's a funny thing is they told us in an email. They're like, you're going to, can we say the name of the camp? Whatever, so and so children's camp in Pennsylvania, right? And they gave us the name of the town, and we're like, all right, we looked it up and everything. The first day we get on the shuttle, we arrive there, we get to the Mattress Firm Mansion. We have no idea what's going on. We all pull out our phones and we all look at the Apple Maps, and we're in New York. We're in like upstate New York, and we're like, what the hell is going on? Did they tell us the wrong location? Smitty is like texting his wife and is like, they kidnapped us. And we were like, all right, this is mental. This is like warfare right off the bat. They told us the wrong location. It turns out that's just where the house was, and the camp was truly where they said in Pennsylvania. But there was like a 10-minute period where it's like, we're kidnapped.
I'm going to be honest. I did map out the location they gave us. I did as much Google Maps as I could. I found locations. If I got lost in the wood, I found landmarks. I totally prepared I definitely prepared for this totally wrong. I was more thinking, okay, if I was trapped in the woods here, would I be able to find my way to civilization, or be able to make it out of the woods around there?
Were you glad you brought your axe?
No, part of it is right. We are preparing for a reality show. We are trying to create content. So I did add some props to my,
it's a good prop.
gear.
That was a good move.
Look cool as hell showing up.
Yeah. It was, I do feel definitely really stupid after all of that, because it was just totally, it was just, overkill in such the wrong way.
You were one and done. But on the other side, Tommy, it seemed, and I won't. There's 4 episodes left, so I won't. Vibs, you don't have to reveal total strategy on this, and I'll let you follow up to what Tommy says. But Tommy, how worried were you? I was surprised personly. You've won a bunch of these. You did not win Barstool vs. America, despite what Smitty said.
I think Smitty was just trying to add on and
yeah, Smitty. Smitty's bowl in a china shop routine is so off. I love Smitty. It's so off-putting. He's so awkward when he gets there. He tried to alpha everybody. He was just trashing his teammate, by the way. He won with you in the dozen. Like, let's not overlook that, which you didn't win money, by the way. So he was like trying to lump that in for the money too. He was so insanely over the top on everything. Almost like we said, Billy kind of went balls to the wall, but Billy kind of like played into a kick himself. Smitty just was insane from the get-go, but I think he kind of fell into like the lane where it didn't seem like he really had any shot at getting eliminated too. So
my favorite line Smitty said about me was, if Tommy wasn't at Barstool, he'd be the chief of staff of the entire United States. What does that even mean?
Yeah.
You're a Henry Kissinger type. You're fine to bomb a country. You don't give a shit.
He's nuts. But Tommy, were you like, how worried were you? Because you didn't really, we didn't really get too much of an insight from the show because it was like obviously a lot of focus on Billy. But like when you're sitting there, were you worried? Because like you kind of winning the challenge is very surprising to me, because you're not someone, because you watch someone Survivor. It's not always the best thing to like maybe show like your hand, but also at the same time, a lot of people on the show already like know your hand. They know that you're solid at these games. You know the games backwards and forwards. So were you worried that Vibs was going to say your name?
I was more worried. So to the point about your first challenge, before we started, I literally was asking the producers, I was like, why do I want to win this challenge? Why do I want to win this challenge? Because I didn't know. Like you said, sometimes it's actually not that good to win challenges. And it ended up being really bad to win that challenge because I didn't get to compete in the net. Like usually when you know, the rest of the way you win a challenge, you're the person who decides who goes home. That was the only time where you won the challenge and you had no power. You got a beautiful night's sleep at the Mattress Firm Mansion, but I wasn't allowed to compete the next day. So in retrospect, winning that challenge was
because even so far, like
really
you could argue that maybe you had a chance to make an alliance with two, and you did bring up a very good point, which you said, and a lot of people coming in, tuning into the show they're gonna say Tommy's got to go first, which it seems like you almost did go first here, but you had two people who I don't think know too well your success with Survivor. Like I think Jordan knows, like Jordan was in office when you won the dozen. I don't know if Sydney like knows you won the dozen or lowering the bar. Jordan definitely knew the lowering the bar thing, but they weren't here for surviving Barstool. So like you made a good point. Like these are two people of anybody out of the group, they would most likely be the ones to know the least. But even the alliance you formed with them to like vote, it didn't matter because nobody ended up in the mansion out of that group of three anyway.
Exactly. So like the first night that was again, so I won the challenge thinking maybe at the end, because we didn't know there was gonna be eliminations at that point. I was thinking maybe at the end it's like whoever has won the most challenges accumulates the most points or something along those lines. So yeah, but that night it was like, all right, I'm just gonna try to come off, you know, nice, charming. Like let's do a face mask. Let's have like a slumber party. Just like try to make like Jordan and Sydney like trust me and come off as least threatening as possible and be like, oh yeah, let's just all stick together and you know see what happens from there.
Vibs, I almost called you Smitty. I'm sorry if that's an offensive thing to you. I won't. You don't have to go too much into it because you know there's a mystery. There's 4 episodes left, but like, how close were you in that moment to eliminating Tommy? Like, truly,
I was very close to eliminating Tommy, but in episode 1, there's a moment where they're all around the campfire while Tommy and I are talking, and Billy goes, "After Tommy, Vibs is next. Like, we got to get rid of him." Literally everyone that was around that campfire at some point kind of mentioned that happened.
It's a tough mistake, Billy.
So I was like, all right, I've got to go with Billy and just use Tommy as a distraction. I think Tommy said it's a survivor strategy, the human meat shield. I know everyone's gunning for Tommy because Tommy, like you said, he's won everything. So I know everyone's going to go for him. So I was just trying to hope to still fly under the radar, eliminate the one guy that would go for me, and let everyone else go for Tommy while he's doing whatever.
Yeah, because you're so closely, and Billy, I'll let you kind of react to what he just said, but you're so closely. I would say the 3 of you are up there. I'd probably throw Brianna in there because she did Surviving Barstool too. But like the 3 of you have your kind of own little thing that was Tommy. You're a target because of just like what you've won, and you know the shows. Billy, you're kind of like the survivor guy, survival man out there anyway, strongest. And Vibs, you're so closely associated with literally the first 2 challenges. Like gross shit.
Yeah.
That like in again, from my angle as a viewer, yeah, it makes sense to eliminate Tommy first. But like once Tommy's gone, there's a fresh new target, and there's no reason to think it isn't you, right? Like you.
That was my exact pitch to Vibs, basically.
For sure. Yeah. And Tommy even pitched that, which I wasn't so much thinking about it that way. But if the person that wins the challenge just goes home, that's the precedent that it would be setting. But yeah, mine was just, I could fly under the radar while everyone else is gunning for Tommy.
Billy, do you remember saying Vibs is next to everybody?
No, I don't think the words were Vibs is next. I think the words were the biggest, like the people who are going to manipulate everybody and win. Number 1, Tommy, and then Vibs. I don't know if that was how it went.
I think there is a clip that says Vibs is next.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, I cannot wait to compete next year. I had a totally, I thought everybody was on the same page. I was probably very naive. I was like, yeah,
yes, very clearly.
Tommy, right? Tommy, like he's, very good at these games. Definitely the guy who's going to get taken out. And the thing was, everyone was giving me lip service, and I was just in a totally different world. So, yeah, it's crazy. It's honestly wild, and it kind of makes you think of life differently because you see the different angles that, like, your worldview, it might be totally different than the situation at hand.
Hell yeah, bro.
Deep.
Yeah.
Vibs, I've seen the first episode, talked to Rowan a little bit, who's seen much more. I heard was Billy. Did we get the full scope of Billy at camp in the episode? I heard that he was a little more reckless at camp than we may have seen.
I was hoping there was a little more footage in there. I think I said it at one point. I don't know if the clip is in there, but we were talking about what world Billy was in. I go, Billy definitely just saw the movie The Northman like 3 weeks ago, and he is just trying to do that. And literally later on, Billy's like, yeah, I just saw The Northman. And I was like, okay, yep. He's like dancing around the fire, howling at the moon. And I was like, all right, cool.
Yeah. The camp was really fun. Wish I could have stuck around longer. I think it would have been cool if they'd let us stick around at the camp, didn't have to compete, because I was really excited for basically a vacation in the woods where I could, like when I go on vacation, I go camping. I have fun like that. And I was really excited for a paid vacation, and it all came, tumbling down so fast.
Yeah.
It was,
you're first of all, I will say, if you were to do it again, I feel like a strategy for you would maybe talk a little less, like just like tone it back a little bit. But you had a moment where you didn't say much because you were legitimately speechless when you got eliminated.
Yeah. No,
it was almost like you thought they were going to be like, just kidding, Billy, you're not eliminated. Like you were just like, what?
Because I didn't see myself, because I didn't win the challenge, and I realized that the challenges weren't going to be to my strengths, because just for the first two, like chugging bugs, spitting balls with
got a good throat game.
Yeah. So I was like, I'm just gonna hang around. Like I didn't really think I was that much of a threat per se, but I guess I just sort of stated the obvious too quickly. Like
one comment, and then I'm gonna let you have like a final rebuttal here before we wrap up. Roan, again, unreal. He had one little fourth wall break moment, and that was when you all realized how large Smitty's head was in the box, and Vibs then nobody could get the balls around his head, and Roan was trying to make like a real like classic slick Roan comment, but he just started just dying laughing. Smitty's head just impossibly large in that box there.
Yeah, he's like the Akeem Olajuwon of cockroach basketball. His head was just blocking everything. I
think he had to move it. He's just like, it's just there.
Yeah.
For the record, I pioneered that head blocking strategy in the first one against Viv.
Yes.
I walked so Smitty.
That's your legacy on the show, then. That's your legacy on the show. Billy, was there any rebuttal before we go here? Anything that you wanted to say to Vibs that you didn't get to say on the show that you want to say, like in the moment? Was there anything that did maybe pop out because you were just so shocked?
It was really just like, now I know, but at the time I was just like, why?
Yeah.
I mean, and then it was explained to me.
Would you have said anything differently to maybe save yourself in the moment? Because like you all kind of spoke. I think Tommy's strategy was very clear from the second he left the mansion and went to camp. Like Tommy was pretty lockstep on everything, but was there maybe something different? I asked this already. Like hindsight, would you have done the game differently? But in hindsight, would you have said something maybe different as a pitch to Vibs?
I wouldn't have. I thought that if I just put my heart on my sleeve and just didn't hide it all, people would have thought I was honest and, just there to compete in a very vanilla, straightforward way. But I would have been a little more skeevier. I would have not told anybody. I wouldn't have said anything. I would have not had as much fun at camp. I would have, maybe even just started complaining and just.
Yeah, you were labeled as a complainer and then you didn't complain.
Yeah. The complainer thing was because I was very skeptical of the producers and everybody, because I wouldn't ever willingly put myself in a situation where I was brought to a unknown location, and sort of I thought everyone was like, your paranoia sets in, and I wasn't complaining about any of the amenities or lack thereof, but more of what are we doing, what's going on, where are we, just asking questions. But I probably would have complained more to make myself seem like less of a threat.
Maybe that's your strategy if you get back for season 2.
I need to get back for season 2.
You're out. You're eliminated. You will not be in the. You're there. Keep in mind, you're there. That was a twist to Roan. You weren't fully going home, but the people still in the game are to my. There, Tommy and Vibs. I won't let you have a tease or anything. There's no need to spoil anything. Obviously, you guys have filmed the show already. But Tommy, Vibs, were you feeling good? Vibs, you must have been feeling really good. Tommy, were you feeling good? Like, what was the feeling of leaving episode 1 before we close out here?
I felt great leaving episode 1 because Billy. A reason I wanted Billy out is Billy was one of the main people who, as he was like, "Let's get Tommy out," and I think I kind of realized like. It doesn't really matter group think in this game. Like there's not voting. Like you basically just have to make sure that the person who wins the challenge likes you and doesn't want you out. So I was like, if Billy stays in the game and he wins the challenge, he's obviously going to take me out. So like having somebody be eliminated that I thought would take me out if they had the opportunity, and the fact that I wasn't eliminated despite having my name being thrown out there, I felt real good leaving episode.
Vibs, you're in a great spot right now. You're in the mansion, feeling pretty good. With Sass and Brianna.
The kids. Me and the kids.
Yep. Sydney and Jordan, who have an alliance as we enter episode 2 with Tommy, it seems, though the first step of the alliance didn't really pay off, though nobody got eliminated.
Yeah.
But didn't do too much.
Yeah, I mean, I will say, like, we didn't – I know when we were at the mansion, we were like, oh, let's vote each other into the mansion. But I think after we realized being at the mansion means you can't compete, then our strategy changed.
Okay, yeah.
All right, you're immune, sure, but actually, if you can't compete at the challenge the next day, that's why I was like, all right, let's maybe not be at the challenge because I wanted to be at the camp, or let's not go to the mansion because I was like, all right, the next day I want to be at the camp with people who I trust the most so that if they win the challenge, they won't vote me out.
Yeah, Jeff, you kind of said Jordan and Sydney had never worked with Tommy Smokes in one of these, so they didn't really know what was going on. At the camp, we all agreed that him being there with Jordan and Sydney, they're to the 2 most malleable people that Tommy Smokes can like manipulate. So that did worry us.
Yeah, that was a pretty clear like I think Tommy read that kind of perfectly, even though you didn't fully decide who was going to join you. It wasn't your choice completely.
Yeah, but and I don't know. Just to say who I thought the best were going in. Billy Football was one of my like favorites to win it because he's the most physical. Sydney, she's the outdoors person.
Yep.
And then Tommy Smokes, he's the strategist. So those 3 were my I think the biggest targets, like the people that I thought could get me, the people that I thought could win it.
Yep.
Not necessarily that I want to vote out, but I just think
you got one out. You got one out after episode 1. Billy eliminated. Next episode, July 26th, 8/7 Central. Will Sydney Wells with the outdoor skills come to play here? Sass and Jordan look the most uncomfortable in the woods. They're swapping spots as Sass goes into the mansion, Jordan goes into the woods. Smitty is reckless. Will Tommy still have the target on his back? Tune in, barstoolsports.com. YouTube will do another after show as well. Billy, your time has come to an end. You'll see Tommy and Vibs, though, in Barstool's Most Dangerous Game Show presented by Mattress Firm on Tuesday, July 26th, 8/7 Central. I'm Jeff D. Lowe. We will talk to you then.